Prepping for anal just got easier. Odile lets you go millimeter by millimeter instead of finger by finger. Enjoy an exclusive offer for Man Whore Podcast listeners at manwhorepod.com/stretch. But hurry, this pre-order discount ends soon. One more time, head on over to manwhorepod.com/stretch. The Man Whore Podcast is sponsored by Alt Playground. APG is more than just a place to find couples to swap with. Alt Playground is a lifestyle community for all non-monogamous and sexually adventurous people to connect and share. And you know I started a profile. Join me over at altplayground.net. That's altplayground.net. Now let's get to the show.
Welcome to the Man Whore Podcast.
Shout out to all you vaccinated vixens, all you coughing cuckolds, and a big old shout out to all of the MILFs wearing masks. This is Billy Presida, and you're listening to the Man Whore Podcast. Yeah, masks. You gotta wear them because they're good for you. No? How about vaccines? Gotta take them, unless the scientists say not to. And by scientists, I don't mean like your doctor friend Greg, who's actually just an eye doctor, but I mean like actual scientists who study public health. Yeah, no. Why am I singing? This is uncomfortable. Hi, welcome to the show. This week on the podcast, I've got on fellow comedian Reed Anderson. He does not sing at all, I promise. Really great conversation we had. Looking forward to sharing it with you in a little bit. But first, I got to talk to you about your butts. Yep, your butts. Here's my big issue with doing the butt stuff, because I love the butt stuff. It feels phenomenal, but owie. That's my beef. The misconception about owie with anal is like you think something's too long when actually your butt can take a lot of length. You know what's more difficult is the girth. That's where my owie comes in. And since the beginning of time, us cavemen have been forced to prepare for anal, going finger by finger until you feel stretched out enough, right? That's how we were taught to do it. But there's a better way. Odile allows you to expand yourself millimeter by millimeter with the simple crank of a turn. And I'm excited about this toy. I've been talking about Odile a little bit for the last few weeks, and it's not because I've been paid up top to do it. I'm saying it because I'm genuinely excited to get mine. And there's 1 week left to pre-order your Odile and to pre-order it for nearly half off with my special link. If you don't order yours by October 15th, who knows how long you're going to have to wait for it to hit stores, hit all the mainstream sex toy shops. Then you have to order it and then you got to wait for it to get there. No. Be one of the first to get an Odile and understand the new way to prep for butt things by visiting manwhorepod.com/stretch. Limited time offer. Expires October 15th. Link in the show notes. manwhorepod.com/stretch. Great. Glad we got to talk about the butts. What's next on my list? Glory hole etiquette. Are we familiar with glory hole etiquette, people? I don't know if we are. I feel like there just needs to be more awareness. Like maybe we can have a glory hole etiquette awareness week. At least a day. Could we get a glory hole appreciation day where we all kind of educate ourselves on how to properly attend a glory hole? I'm just not sure if people seem to know because I had such a horrid experience last week. I won't get into the specifics of that encounter because there's no need to be mean to this lady. But just there's some tips I would have given if I had known I needed to give in such tips. The first one being respect the curtain, respect the barrier, whether it's, a slab of wood or a sheet or whatever it is, respect the physical boundary. All right. This is a glory hole. This is not a feel each other up around and underneath the curtain hole. This is not a, hey, let's make out through the hole. This is a glory hole. Respect that. Second tip I'd give you, If you're attending a glory hole, less talking. Yeah, we're using our mouths not for speaking as much as we are for sucking dick. That is the purpose of a glory hole. I'm not saying you're not supposed to talk when you're with a lover. I'm not saying you're not supposed to talk like when you're sucking a dick. I'm like Robert Mueller. There's a tight scope, a narrow focus of my investigation. And it's just like if you're at specifically a glory hole, we are not doing chit chat, no small talk. Maybe don't call me daddy. You don't know how I feel about the term daddy. Maybe don't ask me, oh, am I the best you've ever had? It's like, not now. It's a glory hole. A penis goes in, someone sucks it, they leave. It's a quiet, semi-shameful experience. Please keep it that way. And another thing I want to say is respect the secrecy of the glory hole. Even if someone says like, I don't want guys at the glory hole, let's take me, for example. I have a glory hole hanging in my apartment because I'm a ridiculous human being. Now I have an ad up, and if it says, please no men, that's really the most control I can have over it. If you are going to not respect whatever, gender identity somebody wants on the other side of their glory hole, at least do them the courtesy of like masking your true identity. Glory holes are one of the few limited places I think it's okay to be mildly dishonest about who you are, because at the end of the day, no one's supposed to know who the other person is. You can have an ideal person on the other end, but you don't get to choose that. So if a guy showed up in my glory hole and blew me, like I'm not, so long as I don't know, I don't think that harm has been caused. Now, if someone shows up claiming to be a woman, I feel all this facial hair and I start hearing this deep voice, I'm probably going to pull myself out and very politely say like, hey, I think I'm good for the day. The first person who attended my glory hole turns out to be a trans woman. And like, I'm okay with that. Cause like in that moment, I did not know. If I know before the moment, then I'm thinking about it in the moment. And now we've kind of taken me out of the scene. Respect the secrecy and anonymity of the glory hole. And if you're not going to be who they claim they want you to be, like just quietly be nothing. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong here. I'm certainly, appropriating from gay culture a little bit with the glory hole. So, hey, I'm going to toss this one out there into the ether. Are you a man part of the queer world? Do you have quite the experience with glory holes? Do you think I missed something grossly here? Or do you have something you want to add? Shoot me an email at manwhorepod@gmail.com and we can continue this dialogue about glory hole etiquette. But just something, I don't know, had a burning desire to share with you. Don't know how I'm going to segue out of this one, so I'm just going to go for it. Folks, save the date, October 18th. That is the date of our next monthly Man Whore Munch. Yes, once a month we've been having these group Zoom chats with members of my fan whore community on Patreon. We've enjoyed such topics such as sex toy show and tell and questioning and coming out. And this month's theme, October 18th, 3 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be chatting about getting off online. That's going to be available to all my $7 and up fan whores on Patreon. And you can become a member and join us for the munch. You can join us in our super secret Facebook group, The Champagne Room, or you can join us in our really super dirty, nonstop group chat, The Peep Show, by visiting patreon.com/manwhorepodcast and becoming a member today. And before we move on, I'll do a quick fan whore appreciation moment and say thank you to Krista Frelot. Hope I'm saying your last name right, but you are like the cutest Peep Show lurker. You know, you pop that cute butt of yours up into the group chat once or twice a month. And isn't that the beauty of the group? Thanks for being a member, Krista. And a shout out to T. Scott Griffith. You sound like a 19th century oil baron. Yeah, I drink your milkshake. Which is kind of just beverage cuckolding, if anything. But thank you for being a member, dude, for spending some of your oil money on me. And before we get to this week's guest, Reed Anderson, we're flying through it today, people. Gonna keep that intro tight. This is important. You need to know about this. The Earn It Act, aka FOSTA SESTA 2.0, the Earn It Act, has now been introduced into Congress. If I've been reading things correctly, it has now been introduced in the House of Representatives. and I believe it is in committee in the Senate. Now, this is scary because as fucking dysfunctional as our government is, as much as our government won't even debate a relief bill, a coronavirus relief bill right now, they're still finding time to attack whores. And not just attack whores, but attack you. Because legislation like FOSTA SESTA, legislation like the Earn It Act, these things censor the internet. The Earn It Act is going to create a fucking committee to decide basically what's okay and not okay to say on the internet. All you free speech nerds need to listen up. This is why I don't buy the libertarians, because they keep going, man, First Amendment, I want to say the N-word. But then like you say, hey, they're doing this legislation that not only attacks sex work, which a libertarian should be in support of because it's doing what you want to do with your own body, but it's also going to about to censor the internet and make it a less sexy place to be. And all of a sudden they're silent. So fuck the libertarians. I want some of your favorite whores want you, yes, you, to call your people right now. I missed the boat. I was too late to encourage you to do anything when FOSTA SESTA was happening. Not for nothing, a lot of us slept on this thing. It's why some of your favorite sex-talking people on the internet have a hard time getting exposure. It's why a lot of them get their posts suppressed. It's why a lot of them get shadow banned. Hi, I'm one of these people. So we need you to call your people right now, and we need you to tell them to vote no on the Earn It Act, and tell them to vote no on internet censorship. I have a link in the show notes so you can find out who your reps are. Personally, I called my New Jersey Senators Cory Booker and Bob Menendez. And, I also left a voicemail for the centrist cuck boy known as Josh Gottheimer, reminding him, stop being such a moderate sissy and grow a pair and have a backbone and vote no. And it's really important that you do, because these Congress people, they see something like this as an easy vote. They go like, well, we all hate sex trafficking, right? They don't do anything that helps sex trafficking victims. They only attack sex workers who operate consensually. Because if you're not operating consensually as a sex worker, then you're not a sex worker. You're a sex trafficking victim. They're different fucking things. So all these laws do are they attack whores, and at the same time, while attacking whores, a byproduct of the attacking whores on the internet is it censors the internet, and it censors the internet for you. You may not feel it yet, but it's creeping. I told you 2 years ago it was going to creep up, and they're doing it again. This is the next level. We got to put a stop to it. So in the show notes, there's a link to find your reps. Give them a call and just tell them, hey, I hope you will vote no on the Earn It Act because you support a free and open internet. Okay, everyone, let's go have a chit chat with my new friend, Reed Anderson. The Man Whore Podcast is excited to be sponsored by altplayground.net. Yep, did you know that your favorite sex podcasters, your favorite swinger clubs, and some of your favorite sexy event hosts all have communities on APG? Yep. That's right, because APG, it's not just a site for swingers to go fuck each other. This is a non-monogamous resource. It's not your parents' swinger site anymore, although your parents are certainly welcome. But hey, so are you, Xander, 23, in a polyamorous relationship looking for another polyquad to swap with? Yeah, you're welcome there too. You can chat with other lifestylers with similar interests to your own. You can get event updates when we start doing those event things again, and even some sexy pictures on the big wall. And yes, I've got a profile too at altplayground.net. Sign up today, get yourself a membership, and then come say hi. The Man Whore Podcast is sponsored by hotmovies.com. Hot. Get 'em hot. Get 'em movies, hot movies. Oh, little throwback to Eitan Levine's drop. Y'all know how I feel about hotmovies.com, okay? I think this is the future of paying for some of your porn. Because let's face it, you're not going to pay for all of it. You just watch too much. We'd all go broke. Yes, I know. But at 10 cents per minute, you can afford to hashtag pay for some of your porn. And at hotmovies.com, that money trickles down to all the different porn studios, that trickles down to the independent content creators, that trickles down to the stars who are getting hired to do shoots. And another thing I love about Hot Movies is that there's no hidden fees. There's no secret subscriptions. What you pay for is what you paid for. They're not trying to scam nobody. Give it a test run. Sign up for the 20-minute free trial. Use promo code MANWHORE. It turns into a 40-minute free trial. Yeah, you put in your credit card, but you haven't spent a cent. That's only possible at hotmovies.com with promo code MANWHORE. Now let's get to the show.
Yeah, it's not always super fun.
Yeah, I think people assume that's like a fun sex question to ask until you foster an environment of openness, and then you learn the truth.
Yeah.
It's rarely good.
Oh God, that's so brutal.
When someone with a vagina comes on here, and it's 50-50 at
really
best.
I am anecdotally from the women in my life, 50 is great.
Yeah.
Hey, we're aiming for 50.
Yeah, it's like, how was prom night? No, not that one either. Okay, fine. Bachelor. No, none of, you can't. They're usually bad.
Yeah.
Stick to maybe after 25. The chances maybe got better.
20. Yeah.
It's a weird world.
It really is. It's like when you hit 26, your auto insurance goes down and you stop getting raped. Like that's the secret no one tells you.
About getting older. I love that. By the way, like, this is something I'm just always very curious about, is how you picked the new name.
Oh yeah, so Reed is.
I'm sorry to ask such like a generic, basic question. But I'm always curious.
No, totally. It was super different from me and my girlfriend. I would assume it's different for everyone. I've heard some really cute stories, but mine in particular was, as you know, Reed is my legal last name. And I always liked being called Reed. I don't know. I thought it was like broy and fun. Yeah. And I like it. And then Anderson is my, it's kind of a little convoluted, but my dad, his father, so my paternal grandfather is a deadbeat.
Okay.
And so his mother remarried a man named Michael Anderson. So that's like...
And he was the good grandpa?
Great grandpa. We love that grandpa. He was awesome. And I was always honestly kind of bummed that we didn't get his last name and that we had this fucking asshole's last name, you know? So it was just... It tied nicely together and it sounded well. And I was like, yeah, let's fucking do it. I know some trans people who like fucking hate their dead name, and I totally respect that. I'm just not one of them. I'm not bummed out to have been Jess Reed. I liked it. I had a lot of fun with the name specifically, Jess.
Do you have any idea, by the way, I'm sure you know this, but it's like how many Jess Reeds there are?
An infinite.
I couldn't even find old shit on the first page of Google.
No, I know.
There were so many different ones.
It's insane. The sheer magnitude and I don't know. It just goes to show how deeply lame my parents are, I guess, that they would choose Jessica. Oh, sweet Jesus. But yeah, Jessica. That does hurt me to say. I never vibed with Jessica.
I mean, it's an incredibly effeminate name.
It's super effeminate. Yeah, so I mean, I would have about once every 4 months a comic would realize that I went by Jess very publicly, and they'd realize that my name is Jessica, and they would be so shocked. They would send me an angry message being like, is your name fucking Jessica?
What do you fucking think?
I know.
The amount of people who one every 20 times I go to the bank, they're like, I say Billy Presida, and they're like, I'm sorry, do you have another name on the account? The fuck? You mean Billy, the universal nickname for William? What
do you think? Come on.
Why are you breaking my balls over William versus Billy?
I know.
I just want to cash this check.
I know.
I'm hungry.
I know. And they would be like, oh, you're a fucking girl. I'm like, I know.
It's part of the problem. But
I know. So I had to get rid of that. I was like, no more. I can't fuck around with that anymore. It was really just I picked family names.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, welcome on the show, Reed Anderson.
Ah, thank you, Billy.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
But yeah, you've been holding up. Do you live with the girlfriend?
No, I mean, we're getting close. We gotta, we see each other every fucking night. I gotta back up a little bit. But yeah, we're very serious.
Okay.
But we're not living together.
Is it new? Is this also a 3-week shooting star? Or?
No, we started fucking in January, and it's what month is it? September, almost October now.
Yeah, it's the year 2020 is
sure
the most I know.
Yeah. But we were super casual until the pandemic, and then when the pandemic hit, we kind of like cut ties.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and then
who initiates that?
She
why?
did. She was going to be in Greenpoint, and I was in Bushwick. No, what's the nice one? Fuck, sorry. Clinton Hill. She was going to be living in Clinton Hill with friends, and we were just like, we're not going to be able to see each other. And we weren't really dating. Like, we weren't really like, how's your day? Like, what are you doing? Type of vibe. We were just fucking. And she was like, yeah, I don't think this is a great idea. But yeah, once we went into phase 1 in like June, we started seeing each other, and then it just was like pretty immediately.
Who reached out to who in June?
She reached out to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were just like, yeah. Were you like waiting for that call, or were you just happy to get it?
Yeah, I had given up hope for sure. I had fully stopped jerking off to her. But no, I was super pumped to get the call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what was like being single like during quarantine?
I was just sad. There was no hope. I wasn't doing like the like Hinge, Tinder shit. I honestly just was like furiously trying to make money and just like focus on that and not go hungry. I wasn't really thinking about trying to hook up.
Yeah. Is like the libido also down too, or are you like, do you want these things and you are actively pushing them away? Because like me, I just like wasn't horny for the first half of this thing. I was like, my girlfriend didn't love it very much, but it was like I barely wanted to fuck her. I didn't want to fuck anybody. I was like, this is sad.
Yes.
I don't think I jerked off for 6 weeks. First 6 weeks, I was like, fuck it.
I was really sad. I was really sad and really scared. And that doesn't really lend to getting you dick hard.
Right.
You know, I was just freaking out. I do remember desperately wanting like comfort and wishing she was available for that. But no, I was not horny for sure. And then when June came around, I was. And I was really glad that she called.
Temperatures rising, titties are out on
exactly.
the street. Yeah.
They're everywhere. Oh my god, dude. She started HRT less than 2 months ago. Already has tits.
Wait, so you both are like transitioning at like the similar times?
Bro, yes, we
I
met
didn't know.
sis.
Yeah, see,
Oh my god.
I didn't read the whole Twitter thread. I read like the first one and said like, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you."
No. Yeah, we met sis, had like some banging ass gender bender sex.
Wait, sis is
not trans.
Oh no, I thought I didn't know if that was like her name. Okay.
Oh
Gotcha.
no. That's not her name. I don't know if she wants me to say her name on this.
No, sure, that's fine. I was just I was just following. So
yeah.
So you both came out when about this?
She came out literally the day that we met back up.
Oh.
Yeah.
She's like, I have a surprise for you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was the second person she told.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like.
What was that like?
I mean, I didn't really give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea it was like, I was a second person. I thought she was just like, oh, and also haven't seen you in a while and I'm trans. And so I was like, oh, cool.
Were you surprised?
No, not really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she wasn't very effeminate. It's not like she was flamboyant in any way when she was presenting male. But you know, we did fuck. And it's just fucking different men and women. And I've fucked both. And I was like, oh, it feels more like fucking a woman when I'm fucking you.
Yeah.
Which was like hot as hell. It was great. I loved it.
You said that to her?
Oh, yeah. I've told her all of this.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I'm just curious.
Yeah, no. And I remember I would have fantasies about, like sexual fantasies about her dressed as a woman. So when she came out, I was like, yeah, this makes total sense.
You were like, I'm prepped.
I'm ready. I am ready.
This is literally a fantasy.
Yeah, I told her that. And she was like, what? And I'm like, yeah, you're hot. Let's go. Let's do it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
and then how long until you told her? Did you identify as non-binary like before this?
I was non-binary for a short amount of time. I want to say like not even around
but
6
just
months.
Idea there was something in, but I just want to make sure I wasn't making something up.
No, I was going as non-binary, but not very publicly. For like 6 months. But yeah, just the more and that was very freeing. That was huge for me. I loved experiencing non-binary and would encourage anyone who has like gender questions to just like try non-binary for a month. And
I don't know how to though, because I don't want to change my appearance.
And you don't have to. That is the beauty of non-binary.
Yeah, I think yes, except when you look like me. I feel like then it's like you better put some kind of makeup or change your shirt. Or so I don't know. I just feel like I would not be acceptable, and people would think I'm mocking it.
I completely understand that feeling, and I also felt the same way, which really held me off from doing it for a long time.
Really? Because
yeah,
you
a
were
long
always
time.
I always remembered you like fairly butchy in a way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like,
yeah, I would definitely categorize myself as that. But I remember when I came out as non-binary, I was so frustrated that like when my girlfriend came out, there was a very real change that she could look to and point to and be like, I'm going to dress this way. I'm going to do my hair this way and do my makeup this way. And that's going to communicate to the world. That's how I want to be addressed. That's my gender. When you come out as non-binary, there's no non-binary clothing. You just have to wear what you have and hope people get the vibe, you know? But that's very freeing because you can act any way you want. You can do whatever you want. It's kind of a get out of jail free card. You can do whatever the fuck you want and be like, I'm non-binary.
I'm sorry, no, officer, it's okay. I'm non-binary.
Exactly, though.
These are my groceries now.
Yeah. No, but yeah, dude, if you want to wear fucking, I don't know, lettuce all over your face, like go wild, you know? That being non-binary really helped me let go of gender expectations, which I think had been scaring me to become fully masculine. Because as I'm sure you know, masculine culture is terrifying. It's really intense.
So, well, what were the first, I guess, and this is something I'm curious, with a lot of people, like my ex is genderqueer, so like I got to kind of hit them up about questions like in the moment about it. This is something as I continue to try to like truly understand it. What's the feeling? Like, what does that feel like when you kind of realize, like, I think I'm more like this? Because my ex was like, I just don't always feel like a girl. I don't always feel like a boy. So what was that internal thing like for you? For me, and I really want to emphasize, it is so different for everybody, right. For sure. But for me, I remember being deeply resentful as a kid before puberty that I was not a boy, but not fully understanding what that meant. I was just like, God, why can't I run that fast? Like, why can't I hang out with them? Why can't I play basketball? Why can't I make more sense on the dollar?
Exactly.
Like, I'm 7. Like these Reese's are expensive.
Yeah, totally. But you know, that eventually got beat out of me. And then in my mind, I was just like, okay, so I want to be like that. So what I have to do is just be the smartest person and just like work the hardest so that people will think that I work like a man. And that will be the way that I get to the way I want to be perceived. And I did that through high school. And then if you can believe it, in college, I had a complete mental break. And became a drug addict for many years. Oh. Yeah, I became a big old drunk.
Very masculine of you. No, okay.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I think so too. And in that time when I was using really heavily, gender wasn't really on the forefront of my mind, but that was when I was really wrestling with my sexuality, which is so tied to gender in this weird way. But yeah, that's when I really started considering that I might not be totally straight, even though I had slept with women before. I was like, well, it's college. Don't take it seriously. But then when I got sober, this was about 2 years ago, I think my body was just like, okay, you're financially stable. You're not on the cusp of dying or killing yourself. We can tackle gender now. And the feeling is just like, I would experience these moments of talking to people and just completely forgetting I'm a woman and being like, why are they addressing me this way? Why are they talking to me in this manner? And then I would have to snap back and be like, oh, right, I'm a woman.
Right.
And I for so long would be like, oh, sexism fucking sucks. Like, blah, blah, blah. This is all bullshit. And not realizing it wasn't just like frustration against the patriarchy. It was frustration against my gender.
It's funny you say that because sometimes I go like, why is someone feeling so intimidated by me even though they just met me? Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
Right. Right.
All right.
Yeah. No, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always...
It's like, why can't I be judged on me and who I am and not based on what all the idiots who look like me did?
Totally. I 100% get that. Yeah. And it's just, and then very recently, I would say in the last 6 months, I would be asking myself these questions of like, when you think about being a partner, what do you want to be addressed as? And it was always boyfriend. Would you rather be an uncle or a husband or a grandpa or a dad? And it's like, those are the ones I feel better. And that's what really cinched the deal for me. Because otherwise, I mean, when I knew that I wanted to be a boyfriend instead of a partner, that's when I was like, okay, there's no, what are we doing here?
Right.
Yeah.
You don't like partner?
I don't dislike it, especially for non-binary people. It makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
But not for me.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Are you doing hormone therapy or?
I'm starting.
Yeah.
I'm starting soon. Yeah. I'm really, really nervous about it.
What are you nervous about?
I have, I mean, as just having lived as a woman in America for as long as I have, you know, you get to see the nasty side of masculinity. And I'm afraid to tap into that part of myself. And I feel like testosterone is really going to challenge me in that way. But goddamn it, I want a mustache. So
don't you feel like you kind of have like the cheat codes, like you know, because you've been on the other side, and you can come in and infiltrate.
I hope. I mean, that's what people keep saying to me, but I don't know. I'm just it really, really has held me back. Just being afraid of kind of associating myself with masculine culture in America.
Fair. It's on the decline.
Very violent and kind of a bummer. So
what are some of the changes that happen when you go on hormone therapy for you're taking testosterone? Yeah,
on the physical side of things, your fat distribution changes. So less fat on the hips and thighs. And just like under skin generally, and more in a pot belly area, which we'll see how that goes.
All right. And you get the mustache.
You get the mustache.
You get
sometimes. The hair. I get to lose a lot of my hair. How excited to be for that. Yeah, some trans men do go bald. Yeah.
Because I was talking about like the hair you're going to get.
Oh, I'm going to get hair, baby.
I see all the personals ads on Reddit of like the trans dudes, and they got and I'm like, there's so much. You're hairier than me.
I know. I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited. That's all exciting. My voice will drop. That'll be sick. Because I feel like a lot of times if I am passing with someone, they're waiting for me to talk to know what gender I am, and that's very frustrating.
Do people sometimes hear you speak and then guess wrong?
Oh, 100%. I get misgendered constantly, especially at my job, because I'm a server and
by the patrons.
Yeah.
Who just don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not even being rude. They're just like, yeah,
they're taking their guess.
Right. But you know,
how's that feel?
It sucks. It's just embarrassing for me now. It's just like, oh wow, I'm like a really feminine dude. That's like imagine if you got called she and her all the time.
Not since I was 13.
Right.
At the place the restaurant I worked at, the guys in the kitchen called me muchachona.
Oh wow.
Which took me an embarrassing amount of time. Anyone laughing now who knows their Spanish, took me about this long to figure it out. Oh, big pussy. I would laugh and smile and be like, ah ha ha. Yeah. So I haven't been misgendered since 13, but
okay.
but yeah,
it's not. I don't think these people are rude. I'm not like you guys aren't woke. It's just embarrassing that I am so far off the mark from.
I don't think you're so far. I mean, maybe it's because I knew you before. Last time I saw you, you looked very different, but you.
Yeah. I really just want to get my tits chopped off. That's the big one for me.
Yeah,
I'm really pumped about that.
You doing the binders?
No, they're really bad for you, and my tits are so small anyway. It's like, what's the point?
What's bad about the binders? Binders. Do you want to also share for anyone who doesn't know what a binder is?
Oh, sure. Wow. That's wild to me. Sorry. I'm just so entrenched in my own culture that I'm like, what?
Of the two of us, I just feel like I shouldn't explain it.
Sure, fair enough. Binding is just when you wear compression on your breasts to make them look more like a male chest. Mm. And they're not, I mean, it's recommended that you only do it for a couple hours, a couple days a week. I can't like go to work in a binder. I mean, you can. It's just bad for your rib cage. I mean, you're really compressing your lungs in a way that's not super healthy. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I don't today and probably for the rest of the week. I don't need that right now. We'll see where I am in 6 months.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then how's your, I mean, we go to the comfort level you're comfortable with, but like, how is you and your girlfriend's relationship as she's also going through her own hormone therapy?
It's a lot.
Like, is there, cause like right now during COVID, I feel I have to remind myself, I have to remind my girlfriend. And I feel like I say it on the show. It's like, I think we need to have a lot of extra grace with each other. Cause like, tensions are high, things are abnormal. Like, I don't want to break up with someone over COVID.
Right.
Because maybe in a non-COVID situation, that totally wouldn't have been a breakup, whatever.
Right.
So I got to imagine that there might do you think there's some extra grace that you both are going to need to have with each other as the chemical personalities might go through some fluctuation?
Yeah.
Especially when it's both of you.
Right. Well, luckily, she started HRT a couple months before me. So it's not like we were both barging out the door at the same time. And yeah, I mean, being the partner of someone going through a transition is just difficult. It's just difficult and weird, and beautiful and super rewarding. And I'm so proud of her. She's really fucking doing it in a way that I couldn't. It took me so much longer to come out than her. And I'm constantly impressed with her, but it's hard and weird. There's no other way to say it. She's estrogen is one hell of a drug, and it makes you much more emotional than you used to be, which in some aspects is great, but in other aspects it's just hard to cope with. It's hard to gain new aspects of your emotional toolkit, I guess. Yeah,
because my understanding is that like when you start taking the tea, that's gonna also mess with your psychology, at least for a little bit. And I can't imagine how you bring that dynamic into a relationship and how that is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we will fucking see. I don't know. And we have talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
It's one of my greatest fears that going on, and it's the reason why I've waited so long, is that being on testosterone will not only alienate her, but my friends. I don't know to what extent it will change my personality. And it concerns me. But watching her on estrogen, it hasn't really changed her.
Okay.
That in the dramatic way that I was afraid of. It just, she like reacts to things differently, but she doesn't experience things or have different interests or anything like that. Yeah, and the reactions are it's just it's so hard to verbalize because they're not my emotions. But
that's okay. Do you imagine like you might have to say, if you react to something in a way that you maybe normally wouldn't, you have to be like, oh, sorry, that must be the tea. Like, is there kind of this understanding of, hey, like some things are going to be different outside of our control, and let's like not jump to conclusions on stuff that makes us uncomfortable.
Yeah, whatever. I would say that we haven't had to have that explicit conversation, but it's definitely implied.
Okay.
To be honest, she's so much happier on estrogen.
Yeah.
She was kind of miserable before, unknowingly. She was depressed and upset.
Depressed and thinking
why.
this is what it's supposed to be.
Right. Yeah. And so now she's just so glad to be out, and she really is better on estrogen.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it really is wild how different. It's different, but it's not. She's more comfortable in her body now, and I think that just makes her. It absolutely just makes her more happy. So I'm hoping the same will happen for me. But I'm also ready to fucking stop it the second it makes me. The one side effect of testosterone that I'm really concerned about is it pumps up the anger, and I'm already furious most of the time. So I'm concerned about that. And the second I get unduly angry with her or anyone in my life, I'm gonna have to like really sit down and think about if it's worth it to me. I don't know.
You would consider stop doing the tea to if it was having an adverse effect on you? For
sure, yeah. A mustache is not worth scaring people.
Yeah, and in Brooklyn, I mean, come on, we're all penciling it in these days.
Right.
That's what I see around.
Yeah.
Just for fun. So you're 2 years sober?
2 years sober, yeah.
Wonderful. And did you see any shifts in your like sex and dating behavior, like from non-sober you to getting sober?
Oh my god, yeah. I'm sorry. Yes. Everything.
Don't apologize. I haven't been on a stage since early March. I'm just happy for anyone to laugh in front of me.
Oh my god, I so understand that feeling. Yeah, no, sex was radically different.
Yeah.
The second I got sober, a lot of people are shocked when I say this, but I think before I got sober, I had only had sober sex. It couldn't have been more than 10 times in my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just for like frame of reference, how old are you again?
I'm 28.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this would have been when I was 26 and had been sexually
I didn't know
active.
if you were down in like the Anya camp of age.
No. Sorry.
Is that one of the off topics?
No. I get that a lot. People say that I look younger than I am, which is crazy because I smoked like a chimney and drank like a fish for many, many years.
Oh.
But yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What changed? What was different?
Okay, well, it's kind of sad, but it's important, I guess, to say. When I was having sex as a drunk woman constantly, it just felt unsafe.
Sure.
So I really associated sex with being unsafe. And it was kind of a thing I did to make my partner like me or to make someone I wanted to like me. And I felt so deeply unlovable, and I thought sex could make me be lovable, and like eventually it would lead to some sort of happiness and stability, but it did not.
And you were and were you like you were getting laid or dating? Like it wasn't like you, right? And I keep trying to tell like especially incel-y type dudes, it's like sex isn't gonna make you happy.
No.
Like I am a sad clown. I do the sex.
Yeah.
Enough that you all think that I'm whatever, and I'm miserable.
Yeah. No. Sex can actually make you sadder. Like sometimes it really can.
I left a hotel orgy once in tears.
Wow.
It just because sometimes it's not the fucking answer, everybody.
No, it really isn't. And it sometimes can really exacerbate the problems that you're trying to run away from. I definitely used sex as a crutch in those times. And it was awful and sad, and I had a really bad relationship with it. I kind of hated it. but I was also, in my mid-20s and just horny as hell. A lot of conflicting feelings during that time. And then when I got sober, I had like sober and so fully consensual sex.
And what was that revelation like?
It was crazy. It was kind of unnerving. It shook me, to be totally honest with you.
How so?
I had just had this relationship with sex before that was really... Do you know anything about Al-Anon?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Familiar.
Yeah. The whole thing with Al-Anon is like you do all these things to please your partner or whoever this type of behavior is aimed at, and just push down all of your resentments towards them and towards their not appreciating all of these things until you explode. Mm-hmm. And I really had that relationship with sex where it was like I would have sex with these people because I thought it was what they wanted and I thought it would make them love me more. And I just like deeply, deeply resented them for it. And then when I had sex sober, I was like, oh, this is great.
Do people do this all the time?
People do this all the time.
Oh, this is crazy.
Right. It doesn't mean anything. That was what was freeing. It was that sex doesn't mean anything unless I wanted to. Mm-hmm. There's no ends. I'm not chasing something. I'm just getting my nut.
Yeah.
And that was great. Yeah. And then after that, I've had nothing but great sex.
Yeah. Nothing but sober sex.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I highly recommend.
Me as well. Although when I didn't start regularly smoking weed until like the last couple years. And when I finally started like having sex when high, when I can muster up the energy to do it.
Sure.
Oh gosh, was that great.
Really?
It honestly felt like somewhat of the revelation you had where I go
Really?
like, do people normally do this? This feels incredible. I remember the first time like I masturbated high, I was like, oh my God. Why is this not the norm? Why did Dare tell me not to do this? Because is great.
Oh wow. I never
I don't do any other jokes. I don't do any other drugs, but so marijuana's the only thing I partake in. But when I tried that and mixed in the sexuality, I was like, oh.
Hell yeah,
pleasant,
dude.
Fun.
Hell yeah. Well, I think, honestly, if you have a healthy relationship with drugs, you can probably have a healthy relationship with drugs and sex as well. I just didn't, so it wasn't.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Were you dating at the time that you got sober?
Oh, it was my rock bottom.
Okay, sure.
It was such an awful relationship that when I got out of it, I was like, I have to quit drinking, so I'm never in a relationship like that again.
Okay, so the rock bottom relationship was the impetus to get sober.
Yeah, I mean that.
I was curious if maybe like you get sober and then realize like, oh, fuck this person.
Oh,
yeah.
no. No, I was drunk the entire time we were together. We were just like chasing each other to the bottom. It was bad. But yeah, no, I for a couple months when I was getting sober, I think I only had like 2 hookups.
Did you do the whole thing where you like took that first year? No. Every time I see that in like a TV show, they go like, "Oh, well, when you're in the program the first year, we really encourage you don't do that." And I'll be like, "Yeah,
Who
okay."
the fuck is doing that? I don't know
Okay.
a single person who did that. You're sober for the first time. It's like such an exciting time in your life.
Yeah.
You gotta fuck. You have to. You have so much energy.
You're instantly a better version of yourself. Like you're gonna just be more attractive to people.
Your skin clears up. You lose weight. You look hot. Sober people are hot. Go to any AA meeting, especially in New York City, chocked full of hotties, and everyone's fucking.
You know what? The Gamblers Anonymous meetings not nearly as hot.
Really?
Let me tell you that much.
I believe that.
Oh,
I believe it.
Went a few times, never saw a hottie.
Wow.
Just a lot of sad older people who
Sure
scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, I fucking bet. Gambling is the one addiction that scares me the most.
Oh, it's a bad one.
It's really bad.
I'm like semi grateful for COVID. I'm not like sports betting for this football season because I'm like, what season? I don't know how long this is gonna last. I don't want to like lose money and then they cancel the season week 5 and I'm like, oh, whatever. So it's like, and I can't go to a casino in good conscience. So it's actually like kept me from really gambling much.
That's great. I can't tell you how many people I know. I can't tell you it's 4, but many people that I know have gotten sober or quit smoking during COVID.
Yeah.
Because it's just been, I came out as a fucking man. Like, people are being introspective during this time.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. A lot of introspection.
A lot of introspection. Too much?
Yeah.
Is it too much?
It's arguably always too much for me. I don't know.
Okay.
I do no as in I do too much introspection and should like tone it back so I can like enjoy at least some of life.
Oh my God, yeah. I'm also an anxious wreck at all times.
What are we, comedians? I don't know what that is anymore. It's been a while.
I don't know. I did a Zoom show the other day.
Oh gosh.
And this is where I'm at. I loved it. I was like, oh my God, I got anyone to laugh at me. This is the best thing that's ever happened. I forgot how good it felt.
To like make people laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
It's so weird trying to find like other ways for humor. I truly don't think live comedy shows outside of maybe stuff in the park where it truly is like spaced out. I just don't think they should be happening. I'm like, I'm in a small camp, it seems like, on Facebook, but like everyone's fighting for like clubs to reopen. I'm like, fucking why?
That's insane.
But so I use like my weekly Zoom therapy. It's group. I have Zoom group therapy. So like I just try, if I can get one laugh out of people in therapy.
Oh, hell yeah.
The group therapy laugh or making your therapist laugh is like one of the fucking
it's so great.
best ones.
Absolutely.
Because they're all trying not to.
They don't want to.
He was trained not to. But if Lee Shapiro fucking giggles just a little bit, something I said, I'm like, yeah.
Oh God, that'll get you through a day.
I was like, I'll tip you now. This is well worth the price.
Oh my God. I think I have to get a new therapist.
Yeah?
Yeah. Now that I'm a dude.
And why do you want to switch therapists?
Well, I don't know. She doesn't.
Is she one of those feminist man hater therapists? No, I'm kidding.
Well, kind of. That was another thing. I definitely do have deep resentments towards cis men. And so it was weird to be like, oh, I guess maybe I am a man.
Yeah.
That was just really awkward. All of my comedy is about hating men. But anyway, yeah.
I mean, do any of your like, I don't know a better way to phrase it, but like, do any of your like your feminist beliefs maybe have any of them come into question, or are you thinking about them through different lenses now versus maybe a year ago?
Yes. No. In terms of, I believe everything I thought before.
Okay.
But now being on the other side, I understand men's aggravation towards having to hear and deal with it all the time. If that
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
I've been out for 2 weeks as a man and have already had women say that my feminism is not good enough for for like small transgressions, I guess. Like one of them, in one tweet, I referred to myself as a trans man and my girlfriend as a trans girl.
Okay.
And someone tried to drag me for that. And it's like, you have no idea how much thought I put into this.
Wait, what was the problem?
Well, to refer to my girlfriend as a girl and myself as a man can be seen as patronizing and infantilizing.
His girlfriend, boyfriend. We just don't say man friend, woman friend. Okay.
Yeah. Look, I
do believe in what Janet Hyde won't stop talking about.
Okay.
I do believe in the like I do try to use woman as much as possible, but it was also like that girlfriend and boyfriend is what it is. See, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I completely understand where Janet Hyde is coming from, or whoever. Yeah.
She's not the only person who is.
She's just the one who had taught me that. That's all.
Yes. She's the one that brought that up to me as well, and it's a good point. But I mean, I had an entire conversation with my girlfriend about like, do you feel comfortable with me doing this?
Yeah.
Is it okay? Do you like being referred to as a girl? And she was like, yeah, that's fine. I don't care. And so I do understand how men could get resentful of this kind of criticism all of the time. But I also agree with Janet. So it's a weird spot to be in, for sure.
I think it's like, yeah, I get like we're frustrated, but and also like good for like fine. I don't know. Like I understand people being upset, and I go like, I think you should just be. Someone's like, I don't know, I'm too nervous to do this, and this at work. I'll be like, all right, good. I mean, I think that's better than when you didn't feel scared to do the things and you did, right?
Right. Like I would rather there be an overreaction and for some people to be frustrated and no one to feel scared.
Yeah.
That is a really good trade-off to me.
It's a false choice, but also that's what it is right now. And it'll swing back.
That seems like the best case scenario to me in the current environment that we're in. And so I'm more than willing.
Have you been dragged for anything else in your 2 weeks of manhood?
Yeah. I called someone a cunt.
Can you not call people cunts anymore?
I'm not allowed to anymore.
You gave up your cunt card.
I gave it up.
Oh no.
I didn't know.
It's such a good one. I feel like it's one of the few benefits of womanhood is you get to call cunt and no one really yells at you.
I know. I will miss it. I will miss it dearly.
I mean, I say still use it. I'm just saying now you will be yelled at for it too.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm not going to lie. There was a little thrill when they were like, you don't get to say that. And I was like, oh.
You go like, I feel seen.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. It's sort of like I did have a tweet go viral and I had a couple people in there call me a faggot and I was like, oh, thank you. Oh, that's great. But then I felt bad because they were misgendering my girlfriend and I was like, okay, how do I feel? Yeah.
Okay. And this relationship now is like, you'd call it what, like 3-4 months, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Very, very solid. And you're already like, oh, we're very close to moving in together.
No, not really. Like, I just mean the amount of time that we spend together is. I just with like COVID going on. What the fuck else am I? I don't have anything to do but hang out with her.
So what have y'all been doing under quarantine?
Nothing interesting. We are so heterosexual. Our relationship is exactly like everyone. It's so.
Oh, I didn't mean like, oh, what does the queer couple do during quarantine? Okay. I mean like literally like, what are you doing under quarantine? I'm just curious what couples are doing. I'm looking for date night ideas.
Oh, sure. You know? Yeah. No, I mean, bro, if you've got any, let me know.
Oh, shit. The drive-ins are closing now.
We did go to a drive-in movie.
Isn't that nice?
It was
it's a good date.
Fun.
You can sneak a hand job in. It's great. No.
I did.
You did?
I did.
Oh,
yeah.
I was. So we went upstate, and Megan like started one, and then I got spooked, which is weird because like I advocate for public sex, and yet in this situation, I was like, I don't know how many kids are nearby. They were playing ET on the screen behind us, so I kind of aborted the mission halfway through. But you did that?
I don't know. It was such a fun like. I didn't get to be a boy in high school. You didn't get to be a girl in high school. We're gonna go to the drive-in, and I'm gonna fill you up. Moment. It was so fun. Yeah? It was so great. Yeah, I loved it. Highly recommend.
What were you seeing?
Oh God, Friday the 13th.
Okay, that's a very high school,
very high
type
school.
Of movie.
Absolutely, super sexy. I had no idea Kevin Bacon was like almost naked in that movie.
He was.
He looked great. Yeah.
I have not seen. I'll have to give a peek for science.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I talk about sex for a living. I feel like that means you need to know what Kevin Bacon looks like almost naked.
Yeah, it's
I already know what Orlando Bloom looks like because they forced me to look at work. But
what?
I used to work as a fact checker at a celebrity gossip magazine.
Oh,
like In Touch Weekly, Life and Style. So basically, anything on a page I had to check anything that is a fact being stated had to be checked. So that can be dates of birth. But that could also be, okay, Zac Efron admitted to substance abuse, so we can't use the word cocaine. We have to say substance abuse because he didn't say cocaine. Stuff like, right?
Got it.
Range of things like that. So we print like a small item on some page of like what celebrities are up to. Orlando Bloom is paddleboarding naked. This was like a very popular news story years ago.
How could it not be?
Yeah. So he's paddleboarding naked, and we run it with like a star over his junk. And then in the thing, they say whatever the fuck they say about Orlando Bloom, but they did say that he's uncircumcised. Now, nothing... When they say uncircumcised editorially, it served no purpose. This was not a small piece where we're like, and we're so shocked he's uncircumcised. They just stated it as if they were saying the length. Like, so now it has become a fact that is being stated.
God damn it.
We have the thing over it. I have to now go into the program where we have all the photos that are used on the pages and go zoom in on Orlando Bloom's dick.
Oh my God.
To confirm he's uncircumcised. Because we can't state he is if he's not. And I have to go. Yeah. So I go, I zoom in. I am on a work computer. I am zooming in on Orlando Bloom's dick. And I'm like, looks uncut to me. All right, cool. All right. We can pass this page along.
Oh my God.
It seemed unnecessary to have to do at work, but whatever. Then later that fucking day. So sometimes pages change. If they make changes to a page, it gets sent back to the fact-checking department.
Right.
So I got this page sent back to me because they made an edit. And they removed the uncircumcised line, which already was unnecessary, but now they've removed it. So now the whole me zooming in on it's one of those big, IMAX.
Oh my God.
Like the ones you only see in offices. Yeah, zoomed in real big on my big fucking screen in front of the whole office is Orlando Bloom's dick, and I never had to do it because they took it out.
Classy. Do you think they were trolling you?
I was like, look, I don't mind looking at dicks. I see dicks. I will, go to a party if that has dicks around.
Sure.
But don't make me look at this at work.
Right.
A little bit.
Oh, man.
Reed, thank you so much for coming over and chatting. This is also the longest conversation you and I have ever had.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
so that's fun.
For sure.
But this was great. Reed, where can people go find you? I assume there's some. Have you changed all the handles?
Oh, I changed them, baby. Hell yeah! It's actually perfect for this podcast. They're all Reed Anderson Sex.
Reed, did you have any? I can't imagine Reed Anderson was available.
No, it was not.
No.
So I tacked on sex because I thought it was fucking rock and roll.
You say that now, and then 4 years, like Disney comes along and wants to hire you, and they'd be like, "You're verified with sex in your handle."
I'm like, "Yeah, baby."
You were like, "I thought it was fun back then." I don't know. All right, well, folks, go check them out over there, and why don't you go ahead and say goodbye to everybody?
Goodbye, everybody.
Oh, come on. You're going to go follow Reed right now. You want to see what he's putting out there. And we want to know what you thought about this week's show. And the best way to do that is on the social media, giving us a shout out and giving us some tags. I'm on Twitter at @TheBillyPresida, and I'm on Instagram at BillyIsPresida. Am I shadow banned on Instagram right now? Yep. All the more reason why you got to type out my entire handle. Because due to legislation like FOSTA SESTA, professional sex talkers like me keep getting censored. Who would have thought? Of course, you should go smash that like button on the Man Whore Podcast Facebook fan page if you want to get some fun sex positive memes or get yourself some Man Whore merch. Oh, is there a different type of content you wanted to see from me? Moi? Little old cute blue-eye baby boy me? Sounds like you need to be following me on the OnlyFans, and luckily for you, it's free to follow. Just head on over to onlyfans.com/callmebilly. Last but certainly not least, I would love for you to join our fan whore community on Patreon. Connect with like-minded listeners in our Facebook group, or while sharing nudes in the Peep Show, or maybe you're going to come by for the Man Whore Munch on October 18th. Become a member today and support the podcast that you love at patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. That's Patreon, patreon.com/manwhorepodcast. Hope you enjoyed this week's podcast, everybody. Please call your senators. Please call your reps. I promise that if we do it with good force, it makes a difference. especially for some bullshit piece of legislation like the Earn It Act. They don't actually love this thing themselves. They don't care about it that much. They're just afraid to vote no. And when you call in droves, it gives them permission to do the right thing. Check the show notes for a link to how you can find your rep's contact info. And stay slutty. The Man Whore Podcast is sponsored by HotMovies.com. Try out some ethical, paid-for porn for free with none of those hidden fees or secret subscriptions when you sign up at HotMovies.com and use the promo code MANWHORE.